Okay, so we are going to look at multi-step inequalities today. And what we want to do is make sure that we are filling in the steps for how do we solve them. And they're going to use the same steps that we did for equations. So the first thing we're going to look for is distributive. Okay, remember that's with a number outside of parentheses. Okay, that's what distributive property is. The next thing we're going to do is sort. Remember, if you cross the line, you change the sign, and this is how we move things from one side to the other side. And the last thing we're going to do for how to solve is to divide by whatever's with the variable. We're trying to get that variable by itself. Now remember, if we divide by a negative, what's going to happen? Well, remember what we did with the other lessons is if we divide by a negative, we have to switch the inequality symbol. So instead of it being less than, it'll be greater than. Okay, so we have to remember these things. And then just like we did with all the other ones, if you're graphing, open circle, closed circle, and all that is in the previous lessons. Okay, so remember, open circle is greater than or less than. Closed circle is the ones that have the equal sign. Okay. So our first two problems are two-step equations, which is what we've been working on. So we should be able to do these. Remember, we want to get that variable by itself. So we're going to look and see who is on the same side of the variable with us. So that's the 10. He's going to go to the other side. So we're going to have 23. Well, he's going to cross the line, so he's going to be a minus 10. We're going to bring down negative 2w. 23 take away 10. It's going to give us 13. Negative 2w drops down. Here's our symbol. Now we want w, not negative 2w, so we're going to divide by negative 2. We have to switch the sign. So it changes directions, and 13 divided by negative 2 is negative 6.5. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the other one. And again, we've been working on these, so we should be pretty good at these. Here's the one we're looking for. So our 11 is going to cross the line. So 43 subtract 11 is negative 4y. 43 take away 11 is 32. Bring down your negative 4y. We're going to divide by negative 4 and get negative 8, but we have to remember to switch the symbol. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start seeing the multi-steps now that we're warmed up. So as you look at the next problem, what you should notice right away is you have the 6 in front of the parentheses. So this is going to be a distributive. So we're going to multiply 6 times everything inside. So 6 times 5 is going to give us 30. Bring down the z. 6 times minus 3 is going to give us negative 18. Bring down everything else. Okay, so this time you should notice that there are z's on both sides. So we want to get all the z's to one side and all the whole numbers to the other. So we're going to take this 30z and we're going to move them over here. So minus 18 comes down. 36z comes down. 30z crosses the line and becomes minus 30z. We're going to bring down everything so we can see where we're at. 36 take away 30 is 6z. We're going to divide by 6. So we're dividing by a positive, so that symbol is going to stay the same. And you're going to have negative 18 divided by 6, which is going to give you negative 3. Okay. Take a minute and try the distributive, because there's double distributive here. And we'll look at what you get. Okay, be careful with your signs. We don't want to lose any signs. Okay, so 2 times h And 2 times 6 is going to give us 2h plus 12. Bring our inequality symbol down. Negative 3 times h and negative 3 times 8 and negative 3 times minus 8, h. So negative 24. Now a negative times a negative is a positive 3h. So now what we have to do is sort. We want to get all the variables to one side and all the whole numbers to the other. So 2h is going to stay. Negative 24 is going to stay. 12 is going to cross, and 3h is going to cross. So remember, with those numbers, they're crossing the line, so they're changing the sign. So positive 3h turns into negative 3h. Positive 12 turns into negative 12. Now we're ready to combine the like terms. So 2 take away 3 is negative 1h. Bring down your symbol. Negative 24 minus 12 is negative 36. Now, we don't want to know what negative h is. We want to know what h is. So we've got to divide by negative 1 to both sides. Remembering that if we divide by a negative, it's going to switch your inequality symbol. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing again. We've got more distributive. Now with this one, you're going to cover up the 9t first and do distributive with the minus 5. And then you're going to do distributive with the 4t. And then when we get this far, we're going to distribute the 3. And then we're going to distribute the 6. Okay. So 9t is going to drop down. Minus 5 times t is minus 5t. Minus 5 times minus 5 is plus 25. Bring down your symbol. 4t. 4 times minus 3 is minus 12. And now again, we're going to do some sorting. We want to get all our variables to one side and our whole numbers to the other. So this 25 is going to come this way, and the 4t is going to go that way. We're going to drop down everybody that's saying the same on the same side so they don't change anything. And now we're going to change the sign. So 4t is going to cross the line and become minus 4t. 25 is going to become minus 25. 9, take away 5, take away 4 is 0t. And minus 12 and minus 25 is minus 37. So what we have here is 0 is less than or equal to negative 37. And I want you to think for a minute, when did we see this before? When have we seen an equation where the variable drops out? What does it mean? Okay, hopefully you're thinking, hey, it means 0 solution or no solution or infinite solution. So we need to figure out how does that apply when we're dealing with inequalities. Well, the way that we do this is we look and we read the problem. So 0 is less than negative 37. Well, 0 is not less than, so this is a false statement. So because this statement is false, this is considered a no solution problem. If this statement was true, then it would be considered an infinite solution problem. So just like with the equations before, we have to remember what they mean. So false is no solution, and maybe you want to write true is an infinite solution. And we did these in chapter 2, very similar with equations. Okay, let's try one more of these. Let's do our distributive. So 3 times 4 is going to give us 12. Bring down the little m. 3 times 6 is going to give us 18. Bring down our less than or equal to symbol. Bring down 42 because he is not part of any of the distributive. 6 times 2 is 12. Don't forget the little m. 6 times minus 4 is minus 24. So we're going to drop our line. And again, we want to get all the variables to one side and all the whole numbers to the other. So we've got the majority of our whole numbers here. So we're going to make 18 switch and 12 is going to switch. So everybody else we're going to take down exactly where they are. Now 18 is positive. He's going to come over here. He's going to be negative. And 12 is positive. It's going to come over here and be negative. So you can already see what's going to be happening. These are going to cancel out, leaving us with 0. Over here, we might need to grab our calculator. We're going to have 42, subtract 24, subtract 18, and we're going to get 0. So again, we have to find out if this statement is true or false. 0 is less than or equal to 0. So this is a true statement. So this is considered an infinite solution. Okay. So what we want to do now is give you guys a chance to try some of these on your own. Okay, so we're going to look at page 14. And what I want you to do is, using the steps that we just did, I want you to try these 5 problems. When you're done, unpause the video and I'll go through them and you can check your answers. Okay, you do not have to graph, you can just solve. I think by now we should be pretty good at graphing. Okay, so pause it and good luck. Okay, so at this point you should have tried them. We're going to work through these. Okay, we're going to try to get all the variables on one side and the whole numbers on the other. So we've got a 3x that's going to cross over here and a 5 that's going to go over here. So you should have 2x, take away 3x because it crossed the line. Your negative 10 is right here, and then positive 5 becomes minus 5. 2 take away 3 is negative 1x. Minus 10 and minus 5 is minus 15. We don't want to know negative 1x. We want to know just x. So remember, if we divide by a negative, it's going to switch our sign, and you should get 15. Okay, for the next one, we're going to do the same thing. 4x is going to drop over here. 3 is going to go here. 15 is going to cross. Negative 2 is going to cross. So negative 2x becomes positive 2x. Positive 15 becomes minus 15. Now we're going to put our like terms together. 4 plus 2 is 6x. 3 take away 15 is negative 12. Well, we don't want 6x, we just want x. So we're going to divide both sides by 6. And x is going to be negative 2. We do not switch the sign because we divided by a positive. Okay, let's look and see what some distributive looks like. So we're going to move that 2 across. 2 times negative 3 is minus 6b. 2 times minus 5 is negative 10. Bring down your symbol and you're negative 28. So the negative 10 is going to need to cross over. So minus 6b drops. And we've got minus 28. Now we're going to switch the sign because it crosses the line. Minus 6b drops. The symbol is still here. Negative 28 plus 10 is negative 18. But we don't want negative 6b. We just want b. So we're going to divide by negative 6. And b is going to be 3. But because we divided by a negative, we need to switch the inequality symbol's direction. Okay. Problem 4 here, we need to do double distributive. So we're going to do negative 6 times the first one and 2 times the second one. Negative 6 times w is a negative 6w. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Bring your symbol down. 2 times w is 2w. And 2 times 5 is 10. Now we're back to what we were doing up here. We want to get variables on one side and whole numbers on the other. So whole number is going to move, variable is going to move. Minus 6w drops, plus 10 drops. Negative 6 is going to come over here and be positive 6. 2w is going to come over here and be minus 2w. Because if we cross the line, we change the sign. Now we're going to put our like terms together. So negative 6 and negative 2 is negative 8w. We'll bring down our sign. 6 plus 10 is going to give us 16. But again, we don't want to know negative 8w. We want to know just w. So we're going to divide by -8 to both sides. We're going to get -2. And do we leave the symbol the same or do we switch it? Hopefully you remember to switch it because you are dividing by a negative. Okay, one more, you should have done distributive first. So 2 times C is 2C. 2 times -3 is -6. Bring down the +6. Okay, so again, we want to switch the line. Now, some of you may already see something going on here. Some of you might see this 0 pair is going to drop out. If you see that, then you don't need to do the next step. You'll pick us up on the step after that. But if you don't see that 0 pair there, then this is going to go and this is going to go. So we're going to have 2C, your symbol, -10 plus 6, because this guy becomes positive, and this guy becomes minus. And this is where people that saw the 0 pair here will pick us up, because this will end up being -10. These are a 0 pair. Okay, so now we still don't want 2C. We just want C. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. Symbol stays the same because we're dividing by a positive, and you get -5. Okay, so you're going to do some practice on your own. Please remember you have to show all the steps like this and take a picture and send it to me to get credit. Please also remember at the top, put your first and last name so I can read it. That's the only way you're going to get credit. Okay, so thank you.